Uh, Welcome, guys. Welcome back. So, this is a continual class for data ingestion. Especially, we are trying to configure the Flume. So, I'm just sharing the screen. What I do is I get into my VM. Yes. It's booting up. I have config to look at my IP address 170.16.1.146. So I'm just logging it with my terminal. So you guys can log in with your hoodie. I hope this should be visible for you guys. So SSH. At 172 dot. Four six. Okay. Cloudera. Username is Cloudera and password is Cloudera. Right. So what we do is we need to define the. We will basically we will look into this session more on how to configure the Flume. Okay. So first step we will do is we will define the Flume in the configuration Flume configuration file. Okay, so the Flume configuration file would be looking like this. Basically, show that. Okay, so you can change the working directory. Basically, you need to get into different directory for finding the Flume configuration file. -ng/ yes. Okay. So basically, what we do is we'll be configuring inside this file. Okay. So all the setups will be done inside this one. Okay. So for that, for this you need to change your user to root. Cloudera is the password. Okay. So what we do, we'll check what is inside this file. Basically, inside this file. I hope this should be visible. Flume dot configuration. Okay, nothing is inside, so it's a fresh file. So what I do is I'm just trying to configure a single node Flume configuration. Okay, so once I entered inside the editor, I need to type in I. Basically, now I can insert whatever text I want. So what we do is like we'll try an example configuration file. Okay. Okay, so the first step, what we do is like we need to name the components of the agents. Okay. So what we do, so we'll be having one agent, and basically I'm naming it the agent as A1. Okay, so A1 will be the agent's name. Okay, and I need to, and it should be visible for sources, and for source the agent will be communicating as R1, and then A1 as for sync as well. I'll mention as K1, then A1 for channel as well, and we mention as C1. Okay, and after this you need to describe and configure the sources as well. Okay, so for that what I do, okay, what you need to do is describe or configure sources. Okay, so I mentioned my agent name here, sources dot r1 dot type equal to netcat. So basically we'll the console will be communicating with netcat. Okay, and source type it will be communicating with netcat. Okay, now we'll mention as r1. Okay, r1, and bind it to localhost. Okay, so basically you can change this. I mean, like if you're in production, you can type IP address like this. Okay, just give me a moment. Hello. ஆமாண்டா போயிட்டு இருக்கு. ம். ஓகே, இல்லை ரெக்கார்ட் ஆகிட்டு தான் இருக்கு நீ. ஓகே ஓகே. ஓ ஓ ஓகே 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 ஓகே. Right. So basically what we did is like we defined the source type as netcat. Okay, and we binded it to the local host. So you can change into IP address basically when you are in production. Okay, and then what we need to do is like yes, of course we need to mention the port. Okay, port, and I showed an example like 44444, right? Okay, and then once we are done with that, you need to describe the sync. Actually, describe the sync. Okay, so A1 is your agent name, and syncs dot K1 type it should be logger. Basically we are trying to look at the loggings. I mean, like display in the console. Okay, so we'll put it as a logger, and that's all about sync. So see, to use channel you need to mention the memory type and capacity and transactional limits. Okay, for that, let me tell you. Which buffer runs in memory. In Flume, basically, it will does in memory. Okay, so I'm just defining it to do it in the memory. So A1 will be your agent name, channel dot C1 type equal to memory, and the type is memory here. Basically, we are trying to display things in the console. We are not trying to store anything. So A1 dot channels dot C1 dot capacity. Okay, 1000. A1 dot channels dot. I'll tell you what is that. Transaction capacity. 1000. Okay, I think I did mistake here. Transaction capacity. Okay, so what I did is like I'm defining to which channel to use, and basically like we will be the type will be like in memory, and basically it will be in memory, and this 1000 is the capacity. Basically, it's 1000 bytes. Okay, and transfer limit would be set as 1000 bytes again. Okay. And once you are done with this, you need to bind the source and sync it to the channel. Okay, so for this, bind the source and sync to the channel. For this, I have to mention A1 sources dot R1 dot channel equal to C1. Again, A1 syncs dot K1 dot channels equal to C1. Okay. So what I did is I try to bind the source and sync with the channel. Okay. So let's try to recap what we did. So first step, I just tried to name the component for the agent. So in my agent, the component name would be like A1 is my agent name. Then the source component name would be like set as R1. Then sync is as K1 and channel as C1. Okay. So after that, we try to define the uh, basically define the source type as netcat, and then bind it to localhost, and we have mentioned the port as well. Okay, and after that we try to sync the we try to describe the sync. So logger, we have mentioned the type as logger. Basically, we are trying to look the output in the console, and you can also save that into your local local HDFS file as well. But we are just trying to look into the display in the console. Okay, and after that we tried to use some channel for buffering, and the buffering type would be like in memory, and we have set that limit as 1000 bytes, and transaction capacity was mentioned as 1000 bytes again. Okay, and finally we have binded the source, and we binded the source and sync basically. So the source channels are set as C1, and sync also set as C1. Okay, so that's it, guys. To exit this editor, what I do is like I'm trying to escape. That's it. So I have successfully configured it. So to check whether I successfully configured this thing, what I do here is let's check. Okay, so this is what I have typed inside the configuration file, right? So what I'm trying to do first, let me go once again. So first I try to get into my session. Then I check my working directory. It was local. It was Cloudera. So what I did is like I was finding the Flume configuration file. So I changed the directory, and then I listed inside the configuration folder, and I see that I can find a directory, the file configuration file here, which the extension is .configuration .conf, and just ignore this and all. These are all environment basically. It can be useful for admin guys. Our focus is for development side, so just ignore for the moment. But if you want to have more knowledge on that, basically you can log on to Flume's official website, that is flume.apache.org, and you can go over these things. And once I found this configuration files, everything inside the configuration folder, what I do is like I just switch to root user in order to get the rights and enter the password here, which is Cloudera for you guys. And after that, I checked inside the Flume configuration file. It was completely empty because we never tried to configure anything before. So it's a fresh Flume configuration file. So I have configured it here by typing I, and after that I can insert all the configuration or whatever I just wanted to do it in the editor. I did that, and I came out of the file, configuration file, and I just tried to check whether the Flume configuration file is configured completely. So it's displaying here. So this is what I did today. I'm like before some time. So I'm trying to define the agent names here. Basically for source, it was R1, and for sinks, it's K1, and channel for C1. And then we try to describe and configure the sources with the type of netcat, and then bind it as a local host. And I said like you can change it to any IP you want. Then we have mentioned the port here. After that, we try to basically look into the console. So we set the type sync type as logger, and then we used the channel for buffering, which is the buffering type would be like in memory, and we set the capacity for that as 1000 bytes, and the transaction limit as 1000 bytes. And then after that we I don't know how come it came here. Okay, I think I did mistake there. Okay, after that what we did is like we binded the source and sinks. We binded it together to a channel basically, and we set that as C1 and C1. Okay, so I think I did some mistake here. I don't think I need this one. So what I do, I just get back to the same thing once again, and and uh, and I just deleted that. That's it, guys. So so that's how I mean, like after every config, after working with VI, make sure that you check your configuration once again. You're thorough with that, and uh, uh, check with your configuration file whether it's set as right as required, whether it's meeting the requirement. Okay, so yes, so far I've done this for Flume configuration. So now let's go and run the Flume in localhost. Okay, so what we do here, we are mentioning a key here, Flume. I think I can run this from yeah, doesn't matter. -ng agent, then -conf, then conf. Yes, hyphen conf, hyphen file, then Flume dot conf, then hyphen name. Yes, a1, then hyphen a1 is your agent name, right? D dot dot program info and then the console. So good to go. So I'll start this one here. It's finding yes, it started running basically. So it started looking for libraries basically, and yes, it started. So it's looking for all the configuration files and started with MapReduce libraries as well here. Okay, so all the charts are perfect, right? So when you're starting a new configuration source, and basically the source and source sync runners and channel runners. Okay, okay. In order to listen from the port, what you need to do is like you need to set set the telnet or whatever. I mean, like we said, like we need to look in at the port, right? So what I do, I open a new window basically. I open a new one. Uh, just wanted to show you some comparison here. So right. Okay. So let me change the. Okay. Mhm. I hope this should be visible for you guys. I increase the font size. I'm running two terminals here. Okay. What I need to do is I need to get into the SSH. Okay. Okay. Yes. So what I need to do is like I'm just trying to install the telnet. So for that, what I need to do is like I need to get into root user. So root. Okay. So I'm inside the root user, and I'm sorry for the background noise because I could not ignore that. There's a mosque next to my house, and they always do their spiritual discourse. So let's wait for this noise. I mean, like, let them complete their thing because I don't want to have a background noise. Let me install in meantime. Yes. Right, so it's completed with installation. So what I do, I just I supposed to start listening to the port 4444. Okay, you cannot start this unless you are running from the same configuration path. Okay, so what I need to do is, okay, I just get into change the directory to /vdc. Okay, then configuration. Okay, so now I'm trying to run localhost 44. Okay. Okay. Right, guys, what I do here, okay, everything is installed. I'm just trying to stop this, and how I'm stopping is like Control C, okay, and I'll come out. So what I'm doing is basically telnet localhost 24. See, okay, so what I do, there is some mistake in the running file, so ng, okay, I have mentioned agent hyphen config and conf hyphen conf the file, yes, then flume.conf, then hyphen name as a1, then hyphen d flume yes dot root dot logger so okay, it's starting, and let's see whether it runs now. Host. Come on. So it's running, but I'm just trying to communicate between this. It's not listening to telnet basically. I think some fault with installation. Let's try to install once again, guys. Okay. Yeah. Install telnet i4 server why it's taking time. And I type yes. Okay. Now let's start localhost double 4. Okay. See, there is some connection issues. It's trying to connect this, but I don't know why it's rejecting. Let's try once again. Okay, let's stop this and start once again. Let me check everything is right. Basically, it's your key, and I mentioned the agent is configuration configuration EMA1 Flume and your root. Yes, everything is right. Okay. I think it should run. Flume, okay. Agent hyphen conf 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 Flume logger Now it's starting. I hope it should work now. Okay, starting a new configuration. Okay. Uh, I don't know why it's not allowed here. Let me run this from inside the VM. Open another one. So I'm trying to run the Flume from here. This terminal. So Flume from NGS agent. File Flume.conf. We new okay, and before that, let me install once again. Okay, it says already in system. Okay, good. And let's start. Local host. 4. Okay. Connection refused again. Okay. But your Flume agent is started, but unfortunately you are not able to see that from here, like from the console. But it should, okay, because you know, right? My VM has some write issues, so normally I'm not able to have the things. So if I type here, I'm like, once it's established, you can type whatever you want, and it will be displayed here with the syncers and channels. Okay, let me try once again. Maybe I did some mistake on the configuration or something. Okay. Okay. Let me stop this. And, and it is always advisable to, I mean, like, copy, type everything in a different file, and then copy the configuration file inside the editor, because it happens, right? I mean, like, that's the mistake I did somewhere. So, but the configuration was running, but still.
It's 8 o'clock.
So let me run this local first. Okay. Now it's created. Okay, I think now it should work. Okay, so right. So you can see, guys, it's working. I did something. I mean, like, mistake on the command while typing. I did some mistakes. So what I do? Let me show the demo here. Whatever I type here, it's been displayed here in the sinkers. You can see here, right? Hello, pasta. So you can see here. So this is just a basic type of Flume configuration, guys. Okay, so that's it with your practical. So it's I hope it's very simple, right? So let's recap once again. What we did here is like, let me recap from the beginning. I just switched over to different directory and the to the Flume configuration directory, and this is the path. So I went inside and then switched to root user, and then I started running the Flume basically after configuring it. Okay, and for configuration we used for configuration I have already told you, like, you can do that once you get into the configuration folder. You need to type vi for editor. You can use vi editor and then get into the flume.configuration file. Okay, and I also showed you how to name the components of the agents, and also I have described how to configure the source and source types, then binds, and then we went through the port, how to configure the port, and then I have described you how to sync. I mean, like, sync with the logger. So you can see that it's syncing perfectly. All right here. Then later on, we looked into uh, uh, channels basically. So we mentioned the type of the channel as memory, and we have set the capacity limits as 1,000 bytes and the transaction limit as well as set as 100 bytes. Sorry, 1,000 bytes. Then we binded the source and tried to sync the channel. and with the source and with the sink, and we have mentioned that as C1. And after that, we started running with the Flume command. I mean, like, we started running with Flume command. I'll show you here because that's important. So we have mentioned the Flume key here, then agent, then configuration. Look into the configuration files, basically this one, and then we named the agent here as A1, and then with the root, and we have used as a logger, and basically it needs to display the information on the console. Okay, so this is how to start the Flume, start and run the Flume. To stop this Flume, what you need to do is, like, you can simply press and type Control C, okay, and it will stop. Okay. So let me show you in this demo. So it's completely down now. So see, you can see that after typing Control C in this window, the connection closed by foreign host. Okay, so we have, I mean, like, we have closed the session for now. Okay. So that's it, guys. So we will look into some variations of Flume as well, maybe in the coming session, coming classes. So that's it for the day. I don't know whether you are, if any one of you are online. I don't see that anybody logged in here. Okay, it's still empty. Nobody have logged in yet. So just go over this video session once again. I also share you the steps and the Flume configuration files. Please try this at your VM. Okay. So thanks everyone, and good night everybody.